we're delving into Jongup medicine, a lesser-known field in Korean traditional medicine. To kick things off, can you briefly explain what sets Jongup apart from other KM schools?
Absolutely. Jongup is uniquely characterized by its private transmission and profound emphasis on individualized diagnosis, especially pulse reading. Unlike more publicized KM branches, Jongup knowledge is closely guarded, often passed down from master to selected students.
That secretive nature is fascinating. How does this approach influence both clinical practice and the preservation of Jongup's core teachings?
It creates a duality. On one hand, it preserves the purity and depth of the tradition. On the other, it limits widespread understanding. This exclusivity means only a few deeply trained practitioners truly grasp Jongup's full scope, making public dissemination rare.
Let's transition to geography. Jongup isn't practiced everywhere. Where are its main centers, and what significance do these locations hold?
Primarily, you'll find Jongup clinics in Seoul, the nation's capital, and in Gyeonggu, which is renowned for its legacy in cultural and medical history. Other major cities like Busan and Daegu host a handful of practitioners, but the tradition remains localized.
Is there a reason why Seoul and Gyeongju, in particular, became strongholds for Jongup?
It's partly historical momentum. Seoul as a hub of modern KM and Gyeongju for its ancient heritage. These cities attract both patients seeking advanced methods and students looking for authentic learning, reinforcing Jongup's presence there.
Moving on, let's talk about the Sabunimno master teachers at the heart of Jongup. What roles do they play in shaping and safeguarding the tradition?
Sabunim are both gatekeepers and innovators. They maintain secretive lineages, carefully selecting apprentices and imparting nuanced diagnostic and treatment skills. Their clinics often double as informal classrooms, and their reputations grow through word of mouth rather than media exposure.
Given this closed circle, how does one become an apprentice, and what's the typical learning trajectory?
It's highly competitive and often based on personal recommendation. Apprentices train intensively, sometimes for decades, mastering subtle techniques like pulse differentiation, complex herbal formulations, and the philosophical underpinnings unique to Jongup.
Let's pivot to research. Unlike many folk traditions, Jongup has a presence in formal research centers. Could you elaborate on the roles of institutions like KIOM and KM universities?
Certainly. The Korea Institute of Oriental Medicine, KIOM, leads systematic studies of traditional Korean medicine, including Jongup. Universities such as Korea University of KM, Woosukwon, and Daejeong KM University sometimes offer modules or research projects on Jongup, though they aren't the primary focus.
How does this institutional research interact with the private master-apprentice system we discussed earlier?
It's a nuanced relationship. While universities promote academic rigor and publish findings, true Jongup knowledge often remains with master teachers who may collaborate with researchers but rarely divulge their deepest insights.
Now, let's explore the people behind Jongup. Are there any prominent historical figures or modern icons shaping the field?
While Lee Jae-ma is often cited for his influence across Korean medicine, Jongup's direct founders are largely anonymous, intentionally so. Modern master teachers, like the archetype Master Kim Twenie in Seoul, quietly lead the tradition, often remaining unrecognized outside inner circles.
Does this anonymity serve a purpose beyond tradition, perhaps, in protecting intellectual property or patient trust?
Absolutely. By restricting public exposure, masters maintain both the integrity of their methods and the privacy of their patient communities, which is critical in a field where individualized care and trust are paramount.
Let's shift to literature. Unlike many medical traditions, Jongup's core textbooks are largely inaccessible. What's the nature of these internal texts?
These gyobon, or internal manuals, are meticulously handwritten or printed in limited numbers for trusted students. They cover advanced diagnostics, pulse techniques, and unique herbal recipes, often using dense classical Korean or Hanmun, making them impenetrable to outsiders.
Given this, are there any public-facing books or resources at all?
Virtually none for the layperson. A few academic monographs or summaries in broader studies of Korean medicine may mention Jongup, but these are rare and typically lack the technical depth of the internal materials.
For scholars, academic articles seem to be the main gateway. What topics do these studies typically explore, and how rigorous is their methodology?
Academic articles often found in the Journal of Korean Oriental Medicine, or KIOM publications, focus on theoretical foundations, diagnostic standards, clinical efficacy, and the pharmacology of Jongup's unique herbal formulas. Many use case studies or comparative analyses with other KM schools.
How do these articles bridge the gap between Jongup's secretive tradition and the need for scientific validation?
They serve as a compromise offering empirical data and theoretical interpretation without revealing trade secrets. This allows Jongup to gain scholarly recognition while preserving the confidentiality of its core methods.
Let's address the elephant in the room. Does Jongup's emphasis on secrecy hinder its modernization or wider acceptance?
It's a double-edged sword. Secrecy ensures depth and authenticity, but complicates peer review, standardization, and public trust. Critics argue that closed transmission can breed stagnation or even pseudoscience, while supporters claim it's essential for preserving nuanced expertise.
Do you foresee these challenges intensifying as healthcare becomes more evidence-based globally?
Yes, unless Jongup finds a balance perhaps by selectively sharing non-essential knowledge for research while safeguarding core techniques. Otherwise, there's a risk of marginalization in a world demanding transparency.
To put things in context, how does Jongup compare to more mainstream KM branches like Sasang or acupuncture-based schools?
Jongup is more insular. For instance, Sasang medicine, inspired by Li Jima, is widely taught and has a large body of public literature. Jongup, meanwhile, is defined by its depth of apprenticeship and its near absence from public forums, making it less adaptable but potentially richer in personalized care.
Are there clinical areas where Jongup excels or falls short relative to these other schools?
Anecdotal reports suggest Jongup practitioners achieve remarkable results with complex chronic cases due to their nuanced diagnostics. However, lack of standardization makes outcomes harder to measure scientifically compared to more codified KM approaches.
Looking ahead, what's the future for Jongup in an era of digital medicine and global knowledge exchange?
It's at a crossroads. There's potential for selective integration like digitizing non-sensitive diagnostic algorithms or collaborating on herbal pharmacology research. But unless Jongup adapts, it risks becoming a relic. Some envision a hybrid model, maintaining core secrecy while participating in broader KM innovation.
Are there models in other traditional medicine, say, Japanese Kampo or Chinese TCM, that Jongup could emulate to thrive in modern times?
Absolutely. Both Kampo and TCM have created public-facing research arms and standardized certain practices while keeping advanced knowledge in specialist circles. Jongup could follow suit, ensuring both survival and relevance in a changing world.